Uncle Sam. The Scarecrows. Our Random Ninja Attack. Uncle Sam who? Whoa. Uncle Sam who? Uncle Sam what? Uncle Sam who? Uncle Sam what? The Scarecrows. Our The Scarecrows. Our The Scarecrows. Our Welcome to the Scarecrow's Hour.
It's okay because the next story that falls in line, the next one that comes after that is The Cat from Hell.
Yeah. Starring, dude, I forget his real name, but he's always going to be Buster Poindexter to me.
He's William Hickley.
No, I'm talking about him, but yeah, William Hickley.
Oh, yeah.
Was that guy ever young?
That's what I want to know.
Like, was he born old?
Dude, the year before that, he played in Christmas Vacation.
Oh my gosh, that was before? He's great in that. With the cigar.
He looked
cloud.
older in that,
yeah,
right?
He looked older.
Yeah, so the year before that, he played Lewis in Christmas
gosh.
Vacation.
And I'd see him on Wings, which I love that show, Wings. I think it never got enough
I
credit.
missed that show. I watched it as a little kid.
It's on Prime.
I watched it on USA.
Yep. 2 episodes.
Yep.
They would do 2 episodes on USA,
Yep.
and then Murder, She Wrote, then on Monday nights, Monday Night Raw, baby. Yep. But he was on there. Remember, he'd always like,
That's
can
where,
I ask you a question?
Oh, okay. That's also where the dude that wound up playing Monk
Oh, yeah.
got his...
Antonio
yeah,
Scapacci. The Texan.
Antonio.
Oh, he's
Yes,
great
his
in
cat-
that.
I know, dude. I love that show. It
Oh,
really
the
was a good
show's
show.
so good.
It really was a good show.
You know, they say that the guy who played Joe, Tim Daly, for a long time, he was like kind of bitter that the show wasn't more popular, you know, because he's like, everybody loves Seinfeld, everybody loves Friends. He's like, what about us?
Yeah.
You know? But
No, I agree. No, I liked it. I mean, that is honestly, like, whenever I was sick or anything, like, if it came, like, because I remember the reruns, you know, during the daytime.
well, they're all on Prime now. Although it seems, I feel like some episodes are missing. I don't know. But the best episodes are between season 2 and probably 7. You know, because Lowell leaves eventually.
Yeah.
You know, Tom
THC.
THC, yeah. Darman Gray. Or he did some, anyway, so as you were.
Well, I was just going to point out, yeah, you had William Hinckley, who did that. Then the sister's friend.
Oh,
in this,
yeah. She was in Christmas.
Well, no, she was in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in 1994. She played.
Laces Up Mothers.
Yeah, the out lace. Laces out,
Yeah.
Dan. Laces out.
Didn't she also play Aunt Edie in Christmas Vacation?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, I'll double check.
Who you're
that.
thinking? Like the lady that had the cat?
Yeah.
That
yeah.
No.
And she's
no,
all like,
no.
"Oh, you're right. You're right.
I know,
She could have got that role though.
Maybe
You could.
she plays
interchange
Dopey though. She plays Dopey.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Like, which is what she played in.
Yeah,
both,
you're totally
both of
right.
those roles.
And she was in some other stuff. But.
And then Gage the Butler,
Oh,
Mark
yes!
Margulies.
Yeah, very recognizable.
He just died this year.
He did.
Yeah.
R.I.P. guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
most people obviously will recognize him from a little show called Breaking Bad. It's kind of a sleeper. Most people don't know about it. You should check it out if you can find it somewhere.
I thought he played in Building Good.
I don't. That's worse than any mistake I've made, dude. I'll mispronounce names all day and not feel bad now. But no, most people remember him from Breaking Bad with the ding ding, very iconic character. But to me, Oz,
yes,
the HBO prison show Oz.
Man. Yeah, that's such a good show too.
Oh gosh, yeah, that show does not get the credit it deserves as being like the first show that will like shock you. You know, like any character could die at any time. People always said that about Breaking Bad or Sons of Anarchy.
Well, when it came out, it did though. When it came out, it did. It got that credit whenever it came out.
I just don't think it was appreciated enough because like I was the only person that watched it. That is the only show that
You were the only person that watched Oz.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the world.
Okay.
No, in
All right.
my vicinity.
Okay.
Nobody else knew about it. I say Oz. They said The Wizard of Oz.
So like nobody All right. I want you to look.
You're backing me into a corner.
And you're saying that nobody.
You're backing me in a corner, and I will lie.
All of you people in the Young County area, whenever Oz was coming out.
In 1996, when a 16-year-old James was at Possum Kingdom Lake, and there's this show about prison coming on HBO, I said, I'm going to watch this. And I was hooked. And you know what? Just nobody else I knew watched it. That's all I'm saying. Obviously, people did watch it. But you know what's crazy?
That sounds a lot different than nobody watched it.
Nobody had ever seen it. The director called me and was like, James, watch it. So at least one person. Anyway.
It's like, nobody's watching my show.
Can you do this for us? So
that's why they only had one season.
Of Oz?
Yeah, because nobody was watching it, right?
Oh, man. Because there's a lot of seasons. Because there's like 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should do a whole thing over Oz.
Okay, we could.
Yeah, a lot of great actors.
It's been a long time since I've watched that, and there are a lot of great actors that went through that show.
And that show was like, you really did not know who was guy, because I'm not going to spoil that for anybody who hadn't watched it, but that first episode, slap in the face, like what? So anyway, moving along now.
Okay, so the Cat from Hell.
We're still talking about the cast.
The Cat from Hell. The cast. Yeah, go ahead. That's all I got.
Okay, so the Hitman, like this is the second musician that's in this movie. Deborah Harry, Blondie being the first, and this is a guy. People will recognize him for his acting, though. What movie was he in? That you ever Scrooged? Bill Murray, Scrooged? Yeah.
Okay.
He was the cab driver. Yeah, I'm the ghost.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Right. All right.
But before he got into acting, he was in a band called the Hollywood Dolls. He's
I didn't
a lead
do a
singer.
full Wikipedia on him. I've just known this.
Yeah. But what else you might know this guy from? If you don't know the Hollywood Dolls, he did a pop project in the 80s where he was like a alternate character, and he was named Buster Poindexter. Great freaking name. Great name. And he did this song, you've heard it, hot, hot, hot. They see me, da, 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 da. I don't know the words. Hot, hot, hot. Fiesta, hot, hot, hot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's him. And in this, he's the hitman that has been hired by old man Hickey. Because Hickey tells him that his 3 other people that lived in this house have all died. And the killer is coming for him next. And he needs...
The killer is the cat.
The killer, the twist, and the cat from hell.
The cat.
And he's like, the killer's behind you. And he turns around, it's like cat, and he's like, I should kill you for that. Or however he talks.
So I've killed people for less than that.
Yeah.
Don't joke with me.
Don't joke with me.
You're starting to get this impression.
It's like, my gosh,
and
dude.
he says something like 50,000 now, 50,000 after it's done. Bring me his tail.
Yeah, he pulls out an envelope with 50,000. He's like, bam. He goes,
check out this envelope. That's $50,000.
And you know,
you get 50,000 now, and you'll get the other 50,000 whenever you finish.
Yeah, you bring me his tail.
Said I want him killed and buried, and then you bring me his tail.
like you want his tail.
Yeah, I was like, his head. His tail.
Wants his tail.
What do they do with the rest? Anyway, like you got to figure that Buster Poindexter at this point is like, oh, this is just a senile old man.
Oh, by the way, and he is getting high on his own supply. Hickey, like he made his money doing it with the pharmaceutical company, and this main drug that he pushes is like a sedative, a tranquilizer, and a mild hallucinogen. And meanwhile, he's popping these just like they're Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, whenever the pill bottle spills at the end, they are Tic Tacs. They are legitimate freaking Tic Tacs, bro. Notice. Like it happened, like it spills, and I was like, what? I was like, what? And you just pause it and you go, yep, those are Tic Tacs. And he's popping them like they're Tic Tacs all throughout the whole little story, dude. So this dude's high as shit. Right. So go ahead.
So he wants the cat dead. And
he wants his tail.
The reason the cat is killing all these people is because,
hell.
Well, the forementioned pills this guy makes was tested on cats. Yeah, they had tested and killed hundreds of, maybe thousands of cats.
So all the cat community came together and they were like,
they got themselves a mummy scroll.
They're like, dude.
And they got it out of a kitty cat mummy, I bet.
It's a black cat, by the way.
It is. Could have been any color, but it's scary.
It had to be black.
Oh yeah,
it's like
ninja. It's a ninja. I know my ninjas.
Yeah. well, it's just like, black cats they carry that reputation.
Yeah, bad luck.
Bunch of superstitious people.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't trip on. So that's why, like the cat story. Even like like Stephen King has his cat stories and stuff, and
he does have quite a few cat stories.
Yeah, well, this is one of them, and this is a variation of one of them.
And so you get this, no pun intended, cat and mouse game of Buster Poindexter trying to kill this kitty cat. And it should be easy, right? He's got guns, knives, all sorts of stuff that every hitman carries with him. Because this dude he looks like a hitman.
Yeah, he does.
If I was a police officer and I saw him walking down the road,
at least 2 dozen jobs that we know of.
Yeah, that we know of.
Yeah.
But if I was a police officer and I saw him, I'd be like, "Hey, I bet that guy's a hitman. Hey, hitman,
right?
Come here."
Right?
Like, "Oh, you're talking to me?"
And he'd be like, "Hitman," and he would actually turn his head, and be like,
Yeah.
Huh? And be like, gotcha.
What's in the briefcase?
Come here.
You got some guns, don't you, buddy?
Come on. Let me see.
No, I'm just going to kill a cat.
He's like, it's just a cat. It's just a cat. That's all. That's all, officer. It's just a cat.
He's trying to kill this cat. The cat is just kicking the crap out of him.
Well, also, I mean, the cat's got a few under his belt already.
Yeah.
At least 3 that we know of.
Yeah.
The cat's killed at least 3 people.
Yeah, we should talk about how he killed the people.
I barely remember because it was so horrible.
He tripped the sister.
Go ahead.
Or the sister's friend. One of them he tripped. One of the ladies he tripped. And the other one, like, attached himself to her face.
So it was the sister dies from the trip, and the friend who has emphysema because she's coughing the whole time.
Oh, right.
Which, by the way, Hickey makes a point, and he's like, "Cats are bad for your emphysema."
Isn't she smoking too?
Yeah, she's smoking and coughing.
Yeah.
Both of them are. It's like
Hilarious.
it's just what you did. It's
I love
what you do.
The smokers and the coffee.
Oh yeah, well, dude, my granny would literally, rest in peace. I love that woman. She would literally do a breathing treatment because she had emphysema and COPD. Right? Maybe she had COPD, but she would do her breathing treatment, finish it, and then turn around and light up a Marlboro Light 100.
Oh, at least it was a light.
Well, whenever she was younger, it used to be menthols and all that. But yeah, and then so it's like, anyways, because it's the chick with the emphysema that gets smothered by the cat,
which makes sense because I think
obviously it makes sense. Yeah, watch it because that whole thing made sense.
Yeah, the cat attached to the. Well, I mean that he would kill her by suffocation, just like he killed the other lady by tripping because I think she was drinking. So she would have, been like drunk and stumbling. And then how does the cat take out freaking the Sicilian? I call him that because that's what. Gosh, what was his name in Oz? I should know it. I was the only one that ever watched it.
I don't know because I didn't watch it.
Nobody did.
I know none of us did, and I would look it up, but you won't give me your Wi-Fi password. So. Yeah.
Oh, I can't give you my Wi-Fi password right now.
I've known him for 20 years.
We're recording. Everybody will have it.
Okay. So watch. Oh, it takes him to the vet, and he kills him in the car crash.
The car.
Okay, so now you have Gage, the butler, the hired man, is trying to kill the cat, and he's taking him he finally catches him, and he's taking him to the butler to the vet to have him put down.
Right, and he killed. I remember to have something to do with the car.
Yeah, a car crash, and so the cat freaks out and winds up killing him. Gets in his face and causes him to have a car crash.
Have you ever taken a cat to the vet? That is very possibly going to happen.
I have done that 4 times that I can think of, because I have Ash, and then I had his brother and sister. Also, so at one time I had those 3 cats, and I took all of them to get spayed and neutered. And then whenever I moved into my apartment, I had to take Ash to the vet and have him registered with the city and all that stuff. So that's 4 times.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant.
No, it's not. We had an unpleasant experience with the vet recently when our sweet baby Kiki had to take her, and how it goes.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's
I was
there for my our last wiener dog that had to go, Bruce.
Bruce, really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man. I didn't know
he
that.
was in my lap whenever he went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's been years ago.
But still, I remember Bruce.
So.
I remember Vash, right?
Yeah, that was Bruce's dad.
Really? That's cool. Okay, now we're getting a whole nother thing. That's cool.
Anyways.
We all got pets, so.
Family. So Gage dies from a car wreck. Pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So now we have Drogon, who is Hickey,
right.
leaves the old man, leaves Halston, the hitman, there with everything that a man could want, everything that a man could need, which is a joke because it's a bunch of cheap ass stuff. And he makes fun of him for having a bunch of cheap stuff. So now he's alone with the cat.
Yeah. It's just him and the cat. And let's see. He's just gonna shoot him, simple enough, right?
Simple,
just shoot him. But he
Simple.
can't seem to shoot the cat. Which the cat, in their first meeting, gave him a cut on his hand, if you recall. So he already knows this cat means business. I mean, the cat's obviously, he's mad. This is personal now. The cat's already scratched him.
Yeah.
So he's going to enjoy this. It's like, maybe that's why he's not just going to take that $50,000 and leave whatever. Kill a cat for another $50,000. I get it.
Yeah.
But then they go back and forth. The cat slashing him, almost castrates him, cuts his face. In the meantime, I don't think he ever lays one finger on the cat. I don't think this is where the cat, if you didn't know before, this cat is not a normal cat.
This cat is from hell.
This is the cat from hell.
It's a cat from
This
hell.
is a demon cat, bro.
It's a cat from hell.
This is a vengeful spirit.
Cat from hell.
This a vengeful spirit cat from hell. I know that sums it up, but dadgum, man. I've heard some people, they said that, that cat from hell. They ain't seen no cat that does this.
No, this is a real cat from hell.
Yeah, this is what an actual cat from hell is.
Like those cats from Pet Sematary, they're pretty vicious and pretty brutal. But this one's legitimately from hell.
This
was the one that survived out of all those. This was the one that was like Bane, that was born in the darkness.
Born in hell. Yeah, no, this is this cat. See, the cats in Pet Sematary, they're like, whatever, creepy, but they're just setting it up for the humans. This cat don't need no human. This cat's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna murder you. What's he do to Buster Poindexter?
Dude, it's vicious.
He goes into his mouth.
Yeah, it is brutal. It is extremely violent and gruesome.
Yeah, dude, the scene.
Golly, dude.
I mean, if it doesn't gross you out, it makes you laugh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can look at it at one of two ways. Either you're like, dude, this is disgusting as hell, or you can just say, oh my gosh, look at this.
So yeah, the cat from hell that goes into his mouth. I guess he must have dislocated his jaw.
So right now we're looking at a still frame of this cat in this guy's mouth. So there you go. There's that fun image.
Yeah.
You deserve that image because it's in my head right now. So.
Yeah, this movie's got quite a few things you remember, but definitely this is a scene where people have I seen Tales from the Dark Side? Is that the one with the cat that goes in the guy's mouth? And once it gets in there, I guess he has a little party and just does whatever he might do to the intros.
Crawling around all up in there and I don't know, rolling around. I mean, you watch your cat roll around.
Yeah,
they roll around, get on their back, and they're just doing acting all goofy and stuff.
Turning into a bag of razors in there.
So he tears him up.
Yep, and then he just stays.
And he stays and
he just chill, warm, comfortable.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Until old man Hickey comes back.
Oh, Drogon shows up.
The Drogon Hickey. Where he comes back to see if the cat's dead.
So he's checking on the cat, and he's popping his pills too. Steady popping his pills. Anyway, long story short,
the cat comes back.
The cat appears.
Yeah, how's he appear? Out of his body? Alien style? He's oh, time to get back to work. I like it here. It's warm. But it reminds me of hell, my home, where I'm from.
Drogon trying to haul in his wheelchair and stuff, and then he starts wheezing and he's popping pills.
He popping them pills.
If you're wheezing, popping a pill is not going to stop that wheezing right away. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you gotta now your lungs and your esophagus has to change from trying to catch your breath to now you're gonna swallow a pill.
Maybe he knows it's coming and he's just like, let me get the biggest buzz I can before I go.
He's like, I'm getting high as hell right now.
Yeah. It's like, this is it. I'm good. I'm done.
But that's whenever he dies, whenever the cat kills him, that's whenever you see him. He spills the pill
the
bottle.
magic Tic Tacs.
Yeah, and that's whenever you see the Tic Tacs. There's
Maybe-
Tic Tacs right there.
Maybe they were always Tic Tacs and it's like a placebo. You know? He just owned Tic Tac. And like the reason he's always popping them because he's got like halitosis. And he doesn't want to die with stink breath. The corner.
Oh man, dude, meeting someone with halitosis, it's
Yeah.
so rough.
There used
knowing
to-
people. It's
There used to be this old biker that would come into the beer store I worked in, long beard and everything. He had halitosis, and he'd go, "Come here," and I like, yeah, and he'd tell me jokes, and they were funny. I'm pretty sure he was doing this like as a distraction while his old lady stole, because she would just kind of walk around the store, but we didn't keep inventory, so whatever. What are you gonna do? I was getting paid minimum wage. I wasn't about to get into it with a biker. I was like 19.
Anyway, it is. Cat from Hell is probably my least favorite of the stories. I'm
I concur.
really not all that interested in it. I like. It's cool that some of these people are in it.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, but
Yeah, recognizable cast.
it's not that.
I mean, because really, I mean, the lead in it is kind of the cat, you know.
Yeah.
And as cool as that ninja hell demon cat might be, it's not got a whole lot of charisma and personality. So,
No.
And then the second billing would be Buster Poindexter in there, and I mean, I like the guy, but he's not. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
Kind of a one trick.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It
It's
was.
like you get it once it starts. Like, okay, you get it.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen here?
No. I mean. Yeah.
Serves its purpose.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Worth watching for sure.
Well, it's like of all the Stephen King stories, like maybe that's the only one they could afford. I don't know. It's the end of the '80s, so there's no telling. Lots of cocaine. and
Lots of
alcohol.
cocaine. Yeah, that you sum up a lot of
So,
things, especially sequels.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Highlander, too.
Yeah. Lots of cocaine.
Yeah.
Lots of cocaine.
Okay, so then we move forward. That takes us back to the wraparound story, where Blondie is getting ready to, she's getting ready to get him in the oven, but he says he's got another story, and it's a love story.
That's what she was wanting from the jump. Was if you remember, she was
Oh, yeah,
asking,
she's
"Is
like,
it a love story?" And
he's
he's
like-
like, "No."
Yeah, he's
no,
like, yeah, no.
no. And then finally, he's like, "Wait, this one's a love story. Hold
Right.
on." Because at this point, he's like, "This lady's gonna be eating me."
Yeah, I'll give her
So
what
it's
she wants.
his life is that he's like, if I can make this last just a little bit longer, because it's like she's got to have me in by this certain time, and no, we can't have that.
Yeah,
So-
you got to think that he's just got this idea that he can hold out long enough for his parents to be like, well, where's our boy at?
Well, remember, she's got people coming.
Yeah.
So it's like she's got to have this kid in the oven at this certain time,
Right,
because otherwise they're going to be like, what the hell's going on here, maybe, or something.
Well, you know what you got to do then? Then you got to nuke him.
I mean, something.
That's
I mean,
just not
it's
gonna be very good.
It's just going to change the whole dynamic of it, And so it's like if he can throw her whole thing off, then maybe he can live.
Yeah.
I mean, you do whatever it takes to survive.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
You know?
Like it's like fight or fly. Well, you can't fly when you're chained, so you fight. Can't physically fight her, so he's mental warfare right here, and that's why he's telling a love story.
That's
that
why
she showed
Timmy
interest in.
finally, little Timmy.
Is that his name, Timmy?
Yeah.
He looks like a Timmy.
Corny enough, he's a Timmy.
Timmy Lawrence.
I'm pretty sure I have him. I think
Timothy,
pretty
if you
sure
will.
it's a Timmy.
His friends call him Timothy.
Yeah.
Little Tim.
Which I did a little bit of research into this next one.
Yeah.
So he starts telling us this love story.
It's a love
But
story.
this is a horror movie, so we know it can't be a typical love story.
Not gonna be a typical love story.
So going back to the stellar cast that's in this, we're gonna just go straight to the point.
Yep. Go
James
ahead.
Remar.
Oh yeah, a young. Well, you know what? He's about 37.
Yeah, he's in
He's
his
about
middle.
37.
He's in his mids. Yeah, he was in his mids.
So a lot of people know him as Dexter's dad.
Yes.
A lot of people might recognize him from the Warriors when he was younger.
Blade
You know?
Trinity Warriors
Yeah.
was. I remember.
Warriors. Oh, what
Yeah,
a good movie.
such a good movie.
I didn't watch it till later in life.
I I was still in school.
Yeah.
I was young.
And you know how I realized that was him?
Junior high, maybe.
Like
Stretch Armstrong was a big deal because it was Christmas, and
where's that come from?
It was maybe the year before Stretch Armstrong. I'm just talking about timeline. Whenever I saw the movie, because I remember where I was. I was at my aunt's house.
What's his connection to Stretch?
And she lived out towards Lubbock. And the year before, we had got Stretch Armstrong dolls.
I was like, did he play
Christmas.
Stretch Armstrong?
And so no, we were playing. So we were playing with Stretch Armstrong dolls.
I just pictured he'd make a good one though.
Either we got them that Christmas or the Christmas before. So it was around that time. Whenever I'm just saying, whenever I saw
I get you now, but I was just looking for the connection.
Yeah, sorry, that was in my mind. I was making connections, and then I was speaking those out loud without giving you all of the information.
But you got me mentally casting the Stretch Armstrong movie. And he's at the top of my list right now. I want to see this.
James Remar as Stretch Armstrong.
Directed by Ray Romano. It'll be a stellar hit. Maybe we can get Devin Swan song in it. I'm great with names, let me tell you. Okay, yeah, but
so many things. At one point, he played Raiden.
Oh, he did in the second Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's not a good. He's not a good Raiden. Like it's not.
Well, he replaced Christopher Lambert.
Yes,
and now that's a connection to Highlander 2. One bad sequel deserves another.
But there can only be one.
There should have only been one.
There should have only been one.
Henry Cavill, save it. You know,
we shall see. I'm interested.
But what I was gonna say, first time that I realized that that he was Dexter's dad and that he was in the Warriors, that he was the same guy.
Yeah,
was actually when Frightmare, Texas Frightmare.
Yeah,
when Jules and I, that's my wife, Jules, we were working for a website that's now known as, I think, Noise from the Pit. But one of the things we had to do there was film these panels, and we got the Warriors panel. And I had barely seen Warriors, but you know, I knew what it was. I was like, cool. And the two guests was the guy that played Swan in the Warriors, the lead, you know, the leader of the Warriors, him and James Remar. And I was like, well, I was totally surprised that I would be standing there filming him, you know. And he's like, yeah. Somebody asked me, and it didn't click till somebody asked him about Dexter. And then I hadn't seen the last Dexter yet, so I had to cover my ears while I was filming it. Like straight up. He's like, oh yeah, in his words, they up that ending, and I was like, I don't care if it's effed up.
Did you see the new
I haven't
Blood?
finished it. I only watched like the first epi.
It's good.
Cool. I want to see it.
They do a good tie up. Everybody admits, I think, that the ending of the last season was
it's fine.
Not that great.
It wasn't that great, but it was fine.
But they make up for it with this. Yeah. It's just
they didn't screw it up. That was my thing. They didn't just. They left it open that they could come and do something else, and that's really
and they tie it up with this.
That's all you really ask for.
They do a nice little tie. My opinion, being a fan, like I enjoyed it. I read the book. I read the first book.
They made a book out of that show.
The book came first. A couple of books.
Chicken, egg,
first.
Tomato, potato.
But anyway, regardless, you know, the movie goes, or the show goes quite a bit different than the books. But that's a good thing though. And so you know, I enjoyed it. I watched all of it, you know, coming out as it came out and stuff like that. And so I was hesitant about watching. My neck's starting to hurt bad. I was hesitant about this new blood or whatever they called it, but it turned out really good. So
I'm glad to hear that. I will check it out.
Check it out. It's worth checking out. I won't spoil that one at all. I'm just gonna say everyone needs to check it out. If you were a Dexter fan, then watch that whole thing because you deserve to watch it. We deserved that.
Okay, so him, and also in this we've got Ray Don Chong. And next to Buster Poindexter, probably the best name in the movie, Ray Don Chong. Famously the daughter of comedian, stoner icon, Tommy Chong. Twist. For a second, I thought you were actually shocked. I was like, don't be.
No.
Please don't be surprised by that.
No, and she's hot too.
She has her moments. First saw her in Commando. Not without underwear. I mean Commando the movie. So I saw
her Commando.
I saw her go Commando, bro.
You've seen Tales from
And her name should be her name should be Ray Dong.
Anyways.
So like
he's a failing artist.
Yes, yeah. And
he gets fired. He loses his agent.
He's got to meet up with his agent at the bar, at this little dive bar. And his agent is, for some reason, it's funny to me, he's drinking Drambuie on the rocks.
Yeah, Drambuie.
Yeah, I'm like, who really does drink Drambuie?
I don't know.
I've known some younger people that did, but I don't know. Especially on the rocks, I don't know. No offense to anybody out there that drinks Drambuie. Well, but if you do, let me.
That just ties back with whenever they do drinking in movies and TV shows, like it's always straight, it's always on the rocks, and it's always like freaking scotch or some weird shit. A lot of scotch. And it's like, really, that many people do that? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't know a lot of people that are just like hitting back the Jameson all the time. Of course, I don't live in that world where everybody can afford to just drink Jameson regularly. You know,
bro. Like the way the economy is now, especially after paying these fat electric bills for keeping our house cool. Like, because we've had triple digits for months now.
I can't imagine having a house. I just my apartment is
bro. Like we had to replace the air conditioner, you know, because we burned it out. And when we were going to buy another one, the lady at Lowe's is like, I can't tell you how many people in the last few months have had to replace their air conditioner. Anyway, not the point. The point is, I can't afford Jameson. All right. My fallback booze have become my go-to booze. I'm now like, I'm drinking like freaking Seagram's. No offense, but it's not my favorite. I'm drinking Seagram's opposed to Jim Beam. Jim Beam's expensive to me now. And I'm drinking Busch Light for my beer because I can't afford Bud Light. You know, well, I can afford more. I gotta, you know, I kind of gave up quality for quantity, you know. So not happy times, but
I'm confused. All right, because you said you gave up quality for quantity, but you were drinking Bud Light before. So
yeah, well, I like Bud Light.
That would say that you gave up the quantity for quality before the Busch Light. So
okay, that's perception because before that, my go-tos would be like Sierra Nevada or Red Stripe. Then I got to where I couldn't afford those.
Those are beers.
Those are good beers, but I couldn't afford those.
So,
Shiner's great beer. But I had some the other day because somebody else bought them for me. Thank you. Yeah. Shout out, Mark. Anyway, not Goodwin. Anyway, my sister's boyfriend, Mark. Anyway, like. So I couldn't afford that, so I fell back on Bud Light, which I like Bud Light. I prefer Bud Light to Coors. I don't care about any controversy, anything like that. It made the beer taste no different to me, and the prices did not drop around here, unfortunately, or I would have stocked up. So I thought
that whole thing was hilarious. I mean, I get it. I enjoyed the just seeing the power of the boycott and all that stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed that. It was going to happen to somebody. It just happens that it was Bud Light. Well, you know what I mean?
Those beers, those big name beers, they're suffering. They've been suffering.
Well, Anheuser-Busch is no longer an American company, for one thing. Yeah. That needs to be understood, first and foremost. Yeah. Anheuser-Busch does not belong to an American company anymore.
What country do they belong to?
It's European based. I don't remember exactly, but they sold out a long time ago.
America's European based.
So, and then...
technically.
And so, and then you have these idiots doing this marketing stuff, and it's just like, whatever. And
all right, that's probably a different podcast.
Anyways.
I'm sorry. I took us down that route.
Yeah, well,
forgive me.
It's hard to...
Forgive me. Let's get back to the love story.
So we're on we're sorry, my bad, y'all. Back to the love story. This is The Lover's Vow is actually the name of the story. It's called The Lover's Vow. And so here we have James Remar, a failing artist. He's meeting his agent who is dropping his butt because he's not selling any of the paintings. So he leaves. They're getting drunk at the bar. It's time to leave. It's time to shut her down. So they take off. And
him and the bartender, they leave together. I guess they're buddies. Little dive bar, little bad neighborhood too.
Yeah, it is a bad neighborhood. That's kind of a reoccurring. Yeah. They tell us many, many times how bad the neighborhood is. They make sure to point out how bad the neighborhood is.
I deduced that, but you're right.
No, oh gosh, no, many times, because he's like, whenever this bad thing happens and this monster shows up and kills the bartender.
Oh my gosh, does it? Dude. Kill the bartender. It's not like, oh, he's dead. I mean, it like...
head cut off.
Hand cut off because he's got his little pistola. And he's going to pop a cap. And nope, there goes your hand with your little gun. You know,
which I wonder. I'm like looking at it. It's like would the gargoyle or sorry, I just ruined it. Gargoyle. Would the monster have killed him if he just would have ignored him, not seen it, if he hadn't have pulled the gun?
That's just something they don't really get into with this story. Like, you don't know the rhyme or reason. There's a lot going on behind the scenes of this story.
Yes. Yes. Which you don't find out until later on exactly how deep the story is.
Yeah, this would be another good one that could, there would be nice to have another medium, like a comic book of the characters, like what's going on. Like from the monster's point of view and stuff, Yeah, because they, you find out that it's this gargoyle that's been over his building, over his apartment building that has been watching him for, extended period of time. And maybe the gargoyle kills that guy because it doesn't care. It's about him. Let's just go ahead and say what the gargoyle is, or we're just gonna be fumbling around.
Okay, yeah, okay. So the gargoyle kills the bartender, and so the dude takes off, and he's hiding. And then here comes Radon Chung, and she comes running up, and he just like grabs her and pulls her into this little alcove,
covers her mouth.
Yeah, covers her mouth, and is like, "Shh, hold on!" It's like, "What are you doing out here? This is a dangerous neighborhood." And she's like, "I'm trying to get a cab." He's like, "Oh no! It'd be much better if you follow me, a stranger who just tried to pull you into an alcove. No, it'd be much safer if you follow me to my house."
Yeah, it's such a sketchy setting,
And what's his name? Oh, and he reassures her by saying, "My name is Preston, and I just live over here."
Yeah.
Okay,
great.
Yeah, that makes it so much better. I'm like, dude, of course, I'll trust you.
Yeah, well, now that I know your name and where you live.
Okay, well, surely you're not going to me now.
No, not if I know your name.
You're not a racist. Absolutely not. You give me your name, and I know that you live here.
He did not say, "Hey, I'm a racist."
Yeah.
Can we say?
We'll Blake. I'll bleep it.
Okay, a rapper.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I mean you can say rapper, but I'm a
rapper.
So he's not a rapist, and he doesn't rapper, and instead, go ahead.
Although she does state later he thought she was gonna rap.
Well, the children, the kids. No, that's what makes it worse. Is the kid brings that up. That mommy, you thought he was gonna rap you, and it's like, wow, yeah. So we're using a lot of the word today, and I'll just blank it out. So it is what it is. But
now I want to use it as much as I can just so it gives you more work.
Matt did the same thing. Did the same thing whenever he found out that I bleeped the word shit, and he was like, well, and it was just but
no, you got to bleep all that.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so because I want to PG, keep it PG.
But I think the bleeps have good comical effects.
Yeah, they will, and they do, but they're a pain in my ass. I'm just telling you. In case you haven't figured out, I also do the editing and the producing. So y'all can
producing anyway.
In the producing, he's the producer.
So when we're freaking mad about the producer, put a face with that.
Yeah. That's why I can't ever fire him because he's freaking related. It's family.
I can't afford anything better.
Anyway, so Ray Dong Chong does not get wrapped.
She does not get wrapped up at all.
She's fine, and she decides to come up there, and they're going to call the cab, and they don't call the cab.
Well, he pretends he calls the cab.
Well,
he's like, it's busy.
He's actually like calls the cops.
Oh, is it the cops?
Yeah, he calls the cops because initially he's going to report.
Yeah, report a monster gargoyle
that just ripped his bartender's head off. And so instead, she
don't forget to tip your bartenders, not rip your bartenders.
Right. So instead, she follows him into the bathroom, helps him clean his wounds, and then he cleans her.
Ooh.
Dang,
that's horrible, dude.
That was bad.
Beep that.
That was bad.
I'm gonna clean. You gotta clean that, baby. Oh yeah.
Oh. So
this is a love story, and you can't have a love story without some wound clean.
So they do the deed, and the next morning,
consensual deed.
It was very consensual. There was no rapping involved, and
rap song.
She's like, "Oh, last night was so important to me." Like, she's like, this is like a big deal to her, Meanwhile, he's hearing sirens and then he's having flashbacks and hearing like, you know, his bartender just got mutilated last night, and it's like, here comes the cops, and so he's like, meanwhile she's looking like. So did the gargoyle mean to show itself to Jer? Jer is the bartender.
Okay.
Does she just have a thing, or does she just have a thing for Preston? He just pulls her off the street, calls from his place, overstating points in dialogue that are obviously covered in the actions. That's written down on my notes. Then she says to me, last night was important to me. What am I reading here? It says good change, LOL. He says just change back. Oh, never mind. I jumped way ahead. Oops, my bad. I jumped ahead 10 years in the story.
Oh yeah, well let's jump ahead.
So,
well,
anyways,
you know, she says like that she has like connections.
She emphasizes how important it is, and like they're like starting to do things, and then he's like, no, I got to go check on something. And so he leaves, and he's like, just stay here. And well, of course she doesn't.
Right.
But then she shows back up with her bags and is like, oh, yeah, but by the way, I happen to know somebody that knows somebody.
And see, this is where a comic book medium would be nice to be like, how does that work out? You know, how does she know people? Does she know people, or does she just going out and making it happen for him? You know?
I think it would go along with the storyline of what you're talking about, like with the gargoyle, because obviously she can transform. She's the gargoyle. She's the monster.
What?
She's the monster.
Oh my gosh, dude! I'm so glad you threw it out there. I was like, why are we dancing around
yeah,
this?
I didn't mean to. I don't know why.
I don't know why we said spoilers.
Yeah, just get straight to the point, right? So she's the gargoyle. So obviously she can change.
It was her
all along.
You know what, Sam? I didn't realize that, but now that you say it, the ending makes way more sense.
You know, like for 10 years they lived together.
They had a happy.
Anyways.
Oh, and she gets pregnant.
Yeah, she gets knocked up.
Love
so like. All of a sudden, like, yeah, she's got these connections. He's selling art, and now he's like, boom, there comes the baby. And he's like, dude.
I'm successful, and I got a wife. I'm married to Ray Dong Chong, and freaking.
They got 2 kids.
2 kids. Were they twins?
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense.
Maybe.
They're like, we'll call them twins.
Whatever. It's a boy and a girl.
Yeah, cute little kids.
But yeah, they're cute kids. And successful life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they fast forward 10 years.
Yeah. And it's like Halloween night, I think.
Somewhere around there.
And
because the agent had taken the kids out or something.
Right. The agent, the Drambuie drinking agent, has now...
He's come back.
Yeah, he's come back into the fold because his boy's successful. Maybe she had something to do with that too. Maybe she gargoyled him.
That's what I'm saying is like she's a magical being to begin with. Good, black or white magic, however you want to say it, whatever. Good or bad.
I don't know. Gargoyles are kind of fall into interesting.
They're like a mystical. Yeah. I mean, they have power, but what kind of power?
I think they're kind of like guardians, but like ruthless.
Yeah, well, I think they can kind of go either way. Depends on what they're guard. I think they're just guarders and protectors, the guardians and protectors, and it's like once they are set to guard or protect something, they do that to the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could Google gargoyles, but I just wanted to say that. No, we're good
because it's not really. I mean, it's a gargoyle, but they took on a. Well, I think Yuki Oni is actually
is that Asian?
Well, it's Japanese.
Okay, because
so it's a Japanese folklore is what the story is where it actually is originating from, them transforming.
But that wasn't in those. It's not a gargoyle though, is it?
No. It's different.
Like an animal.
Yeah. It's typically animals.
Okay.
A lot of fox demons and things like that. That's where these things are coming from, where they're transforming.
Yeah, where like the fox would be like, "Follow me."
So this is like a coked out late '80s American retelling of Japanese folklore.
What should it be? It's like, what's that? It's a gargoyle. That's what it is.
It's a gargoyle that's watching over him, that falls in love with him, and uses her powers to live a wildly successful and life where they love each other and they have a good family and everything's rocking along really well. Which, by the way, when the gargoyle first enters the scene and kills the bartender, we left this part out.
Story point.
Very important story point. The gargoyle says, "Tell you what, you want to live?" Yes.
Yeah, that's a good. James Remar.
Yeah. You can't tell anybody about me.
Right.
You can't tell anybody that you saw me. You can't tell anybody what I did. You can't tell anybody that I spoke. You cannot tell anybody
Not even what I
anything
look like.
about me. Nothing. You can't tell them what I look like. Nothing. You can't speak a single word about me. Okay. Fast forward 10 years. So he goes 10 years and he doesn't expose the gargoyle.
Right.
During this whole time,
Tells
he doesn't
nobody.
expose. Yeah.
But in the meantime, he is drawing pictures.
He's drawing pictures of the gargoyle.
And he even makes a like a model.
Yes.
But he keeps his stuff secret.
Yes, it's all locked up in a box that's secret.
I guess that's like his self-dealing, his therapy.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty effed up situation. And how do you cope with that? And you can't tell anybody about it.
So it's like you're making these models so you can look at it, I guess, and think about what that's really got to change your perspective on life. Like I've seen some weird stuff in my life that I can't explain, and it kind of changes you. You know, you're like, what else have I never seen? You know, or what else have you're like, well, I can't, and usually you just can't tell anybody about it because everybody will just think you're crazy or drunk or stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's he gonna say anyway? Is it really worth talking about it? I mean, because it's like this horrible thing happened, and it's like, was it real in the first place? You know,
and plus he's leaving a bar. They're gonna say, okay, inebriated.
Like, he's drunk, and he's there whenever it happens, and it's like, is he not a suspect?
He would, you
know what I mean? That type of deal.
Well, his buddy even says, you know something, don't you?
Yeah, and he says, no.
Yeah, and that's kind of what stirs it all back up.
Yeah, because he can't tell anybody, but he can't tell anybody anything about it.
He can't forget it. And not to mention, this is the same night that he meets his wife, mother of children. So it's you always remember this night. So it's always going to be there. Every time he's going to look at her, it's going to take him back to when they met.
It's always wrapped in. It's always tied in.
Yeah,
always.
So he's just haunted by this, really.
Yes.
You know, which the kids and the success are a good distraction, but it's always waiting for him around the corner.
Always.
Know? And at this point, he needs to share it with somebody.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah. And there's somebody, the only person.
It's his best friend. His wife is his best friend.
That he can trust and he wants to share everything with her. He wants to be honest. He almost feels like it's a lie he's kept from her.
And that's what he tells her. He says, I've shared everything and you've been involved in everything in my life. And here I have this truth that I need to tell you.
Yeah, a definer in his life,
So he does.
That night. And he shows her the little model gimmick he made. Very, very well done model.
Yeah.
And she doesn't react like he's hoping.
Yeah. We get a good old why did you do that?
You know what? That was in the commercial when I was a kid when I remember that hurts around. You promised.
Yeah.
Ooh, gosh, that line. I don't know. That line just gives me chills the way she delivers it. And that's the moment. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe other people figured it out that she was the gargoyle. I didn't.
Oh, I right off the bat. Well, this having rewatched it, it clicked right off for me. I mean, it's obvious, really.
That was one of the scenes that I saw when I was younger. Like I said, I didn't see the whole movie once, and I'm just watching this movie, so I don't even think I saw their introduction.
Yeah,
I just saw this going on, and then she's like, "You
get closer."
Oh yeah, she's just like, "You promised me," and I'm like, "Promised what?" Because I see him showing us this thing, you know, and then a transformation. Reminds me kind of The Fly, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a bad transformation.
It was pretty gory because she strips her skin off.
Yeah. It's pretty decent.
But then they take it a step further and make it even more heartbreaking.
Well, he's like, first he's just like, well, just change back.
Right, change back. She's like, I can't.
He's like, just change back. And she's like, no, I can't, which kind of ties into this whole magical thing.
Right.
Either if someone sees her in this form, either they can't tell anybody about her or they have to die.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody can see her in this active gargoyle form, in the monster form.
That's just Gargoyle 101, I suppose.
So it's either you either have to keep this secret for the rest of your life or you're going to die.
You're going to die. And then, but you hear this scream come from the kids' rooms.
This part was, I was not even thinking about this and didn't even expect this, but they took it there.
Yeah, this was rough.
And I'll give him props for taking it.
He hears his kids scream, so what are you going to do? He goes and checks on his kids, who have also transformed to gargoyles. Little, cute, scary gargoyles. That means that they're screaming because they've just seen each other rip their skin off, and they don't know what's going on, and they're like all hugged up on there. I mean, you want to think like if you become a gargoyle, some kind of like something kicks in, you know,
Yeah.
some kind of gargoyle instinct.
They were kids though.
Yeah, they're kids, and then, like you said, if you see the gargoyle, you gotta die, and he saw the gargoyle.
So you've got 2 gargoyle babies, and yeah, so she does him decent as far as killing him.
Yeah,
she just goes in for the throat rip. Just
Right,
like,
like
it's
with
not
her
even a
mouth,
bad one.
almost like a kiss, sort of.
Yeah, like
you
it
know?
was a.
It was very intimate.
Yeah, it actually was like because they didn't do a or nothing. You know, it was just a. She leaned in, she bit him enough that he's gonna die out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a she didn't tear in.
Yeah, it wasn't a rage
just
thing.
Like it was just like
At
I
this
gotta
point-
do this.
At this point, she's heartbroken.
Yeah,
because he broke
Hell
his
yeah,
promise.
yeah. She's because now her whole everything. I mean, she loved this guy, right?
Yeah,
and
she's like,
everything
bro,
That
You had
everything.
one job.
Yeah, everything. Everything that we've built together for the last 10 years is now gone. Like I have to do this. There's no getting around.
All you
this.
had to do was
there are rules. Like
not do something. You didn't have to do something. You just had to not do something.
which
You did it. I could care less about anything else. He probably could have ran around town banging every piece of random tail he wanted. Probably could have dove into lines of cocaine and stayed out, and she wouldn't have cared.
it was
Just
the
don't-
80s. They probably were doing all.
Well, they
those
probably
things.
were, but together. But
So,
just don't tell
don't.
about the gargoyle.
Well, it's like there's when it comes to magic, there's rules. Okay, period. In this one, it's a gargoyle, and there's this magic with the gargoyle.
Yeah.
Later on, we're going to get into some other anthologies, and there's rules. You're going to find rules in some of these anthologies also.
Yeah.
Whenever we move into, especially whenever we move into the trick or treat, Halloween type stuff, there's definite rules. And so we're gonna be visiting those, and we're gonna be exploring those as we progress through this Scarecrow hour. And thank you for tuning in.
Wait, we haven't quite wrapped it up yet because the bookend.
I know I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting there, but I just wanted to tie that in while I was already on the rules and the gargoyles.
Gotcha.
And so I was trying to just do a little segue into that to
Seg
lead in
on.
because.
But
But go ahead. Let's do this wrap up.
Yep.
After we finish this love story ends in a very
Love
brutal
story.
way. The very last scene, the last shot of the love story is Mama Gargoyle holding baby gargoyles, and they transform into stone.
And I like to think that they'll have their opportunity as well.
I think
You
it's
know?
going to turn out, and I think it turns out well because you're talking about beings that are going to exist for centuries. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I mean,
So.
they're gargoyles.
But do the wrap up. Let's wrap up the wraparound.
The wraparound. So we've been framed with this witch that's going to eat little Timmy Lawrence, who has now told her all these stories to keep her at bay, but it is 0 hour now.
It's time to go.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Scarecrow hour, but 0
Not to
hour.
be confused.
And so Timmy says, I got one more story. And he starts kind of relaying what's happened to him. And she calls him out on it. She's like, oh, you're silly. That's your story. Silly Timmy Lawrence. But he talks about these shiny marbles he's got.
I hated this.
You hated the marbles?
God, I hated it.
Tell me more. Was this the
God,
worst
I
part
hated
to you?
it, dude? I hated this. The wraparound is in my opinion, is probably the worst part about the entire movie. I absolutely hate it. It's so cheesy beyond belief. It's just it almost in a way. The cheesiness of the wraparound almost defines, in my opinion, it's like it takes away from, nothing can take much more away from Cat from Hell. But I believe that the wraparound takes away from the other two movies, in my opinion.
Really? I didn't feel that way because I separate them very easy. And obviously, this is Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
And
I know, but it's just not like the marbles. Oh my God, dude. It was so bad. Not only the acting, the set, the whole thing about it, the lineup was beyond cheesy. It was just like, seriously? Like whenever it happened, I remember just going, really? Like it was just pathetic.
What? Okay, wait. What about when he grabs the cookie? He's like,
Well, it's like, unfortunately, it ends in a very corny way. the marbles, really? She just lays there, okay, and then whenever he pushes her, she falls into the needles.
Yeah.
All that. Anyway, he winds up pushing her into this
open flame stove.
It's the pan on it is 6 foot.
Yeah. Well,
She fit on it. She fit on it.
Well, she had to.
And then she just lays down on it, and then just lays there.
Well, she's
for a good while.
She's still in her days.
Yeah, she's got all these needles in her back, which typically increase your adrenaline, not slow it down.
Well, let's not go there. I mean,
so then she just lays there and slowly pushes it, and it closes. And I was just like, God.
And then he grabs a cookie and says something like, "Don't you just love happy endings?" or something like that.
Yeah,
I love happy endings. So I bet you
was,
really dug that.
Yeah,
I bet that saved it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was absolutely horrible. Like that, I'm not kidding. Like that part, like that should have been left. That could have been left completely out, and it would have made the movie better.
I don't. Okay, no, I had this.
My opinion.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to have my opinion.
You're allowed to have your opinion, and but I'm just saying, like, I think it was creepy enough that it added something to it.
I think,
and of course,
your opinion is skewed by nostalgia.
Maybe
I know it is. Because if you looked at it, just looked at it, you wouldn't feel that. You would be like, oh, dude, that was terrible.
I don't know. The whole concept's creepy though.
Yeah. No.
Maybe the execution.
It would be 300 years ago, except the fact we're all used to Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
We all are.
Oh
yeah. It is at this point. I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, it was probably just a way to work in Blondie and a cute actor kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of like just fill the part, and you can see that in a way. But overall, looking at it today in 2023,
it's
my opinion is that, if that was left out, it probably would have made the movie better.
Well, I mean, how much screen time is that anyway? Maybe a collective 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's not very much.
So I mean,
the downside is it's how you're introduced to the stories, and it's how it wraps it up. That's the issue, is how it wraps it up. Is you go from, in my opinion, a very good story. I love that the Lover's Vow is a very good story.
Yes,
and the way that they did the monster, like, given that it was done in probably like 1989 or 88, whenever they actually did that stuff, it's done really well. And it looks good.
Yeah, that really could have been a movie all on its own.
That's what I'm looking at it as. Whenever you go from watching that story, and it has its corny moments, but whatever. But altogether, you're watching this story, and it's like there's depth to it. It's solid. It's put together really well, and then you end with that scene afterwards, dude. It's kind of like it's completely on what you just saw.
I get it, the degrees changing so much, but also from that point of view, I want to point out that how, like, it's actually scary. That is actually scary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't let my kids watch that. You know what I mean? With the gargoyles and stuff.
Yeah,
like, that's scary. That monster's well done. That is and it's kind of like the first one. The Mummy is, that's like, I don't know. These are
it's a solid story to begin with. First of all, the Lot 249 story is a solid story.
Yeah.
For one, the story was over 100 years old whenever this movie was done. So you know what I mean? It's a story that has stood up for at least a century.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's a good story. The Cat from Hell was like, it's Stephen King and it's in the 80s, so like that story's like, it is what it is.
To me, that's kind of the popcorn story.
Yeah,
get up and
it's kind of I get that. I get it. Like to me, it's interesting because of the actors and actresses that are in it. To me now,
again,
I'm looking at it from now.
Yeah.
Now, so, and I don't have the nostalgic connection to it at all. Not really. So whenever I'm looking at it me today, in 2023.
But when you watch it as a kid, you relate to the Timmy character. I mean, that's, because you're a kid, he's in a situation with an adult, you're in situations with an adult.
I get that. That's why I'm saying this is my opinion of watching it me today, having no connection to it as a child. Like, I don't have that type of connection to this movie or this story as a child. Like, I get it.
Okay, look, if all that was longer, I might feel more like you do. Even watching it when I was younger, but it's just not. So it's kind of like forgivable, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not, dude. Watch the movie, and I'm not on the movie as a whole. I enjoyed it, and I would recommend it, obviously, or else we wouldn't be, we wouldn't have spent the last 2 hours talking about it.
So
you know what I mean?
So you dig the 3 stories for the most part.
Yes, I like it.
And you just don't really care for the wraparound.
I don't like the wraparound at all.
Fair.
That's the one part where I'm like, dude, we could just delete that and just have those 3 stories.
And you could, because nobody really talks about the wraparound of these movies.
There's a reason why.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not designed that way too. You know, it's like you talk about your favorite story, or the cat and the dude thing, or you talk about Christian Slater and the Mummy, or you talk about the gargoyle and the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the rest. Yeah, could have been anything.
They honestly could have done a graphic of a book and it just opening, but then again, how many times is that done?
That's pretty close.
You know,
pretty close to Creepshow.
So looking at it, it's like, how do we do this in a way, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a difficult choice. It would be a hard. Go ahead.
No, they probably wanted to make sure they work a kid in there, because also with the Creepshows, you had the kid reading the comics, you know, and kids watch these movies. I mean, kids are a big part of this audience, you know, that they're not supposed to be.
Could they not? So why couldn't they not? Well, there's a separation there or something with Creepshow that happened. Why couldn't they do the comic, like do something similar to the comic style? Because like if you look at like Trick or Treat does the comic book, but of course the graphics were, technology was different.
Maybe it's because of whatever the problem was, because there is actually a Creepshow 3. It's just has nothing to do with the other writers from the people that did the first 2. Yeah. You know, so maybe they didn't want it. They wanted it to be different, because I didn't know that for a long time. You know, to me, those were 3 very separate, or those are 2 different. You know, it's not a franchise. Well, yeah, Tales from the Dark Side. It's not a movie franchise, but they had the show. Yeah. 2 different properties. Creepshow, Tales from the Dark Side, very different to me. Although they were both anthology films, I didn't know that they were connected. Not until I saw an interview with Tom Savini where he said that, you know, where he's like, no, that's the real Creepshow 3, you know, and which is kind of, you know, which is pretty much common knowledge now in the horror community and things. And I'm sure there's some people that say, no, it's not. It's Tales from the Dark Side. Creepshow 3, for whatever its flaws are. I've never seen Creepshow 3. Yeah. You know, there's like, but for whatever flaws it is, it's like, that's Creepshow 3, because some people are purists like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're like, it is what it says it is. But when it comes to fiction, you can give and take whatever you want. You know,
right?
Like in my world, Apollo Creed doesn't die in Rocky 4. He knocks Ivan Drago out in the first round, and I'm good with that.
But yeah, okay. So overall, like, I dig the movie a lot, and I highly recommend it. You know, so I'm not gonna take away from it. You know, it's kind of like
if it would have been wrapped around with the Crypt Keeper, yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. Honestly, it's just like it like I said, it just would have been better. I think it just could have been done differently, and it is what it is. Yeah. But that's just all there is to it.
Honestly, I have a hard time finding anything to criticize about the film, and that's probably because of the nostalgia and stuff. If I did watch it now, I probably would, because it's there. You know what I'm saying? It's there, but
I know I'm pointing them out. I've been pointing them out for like a couple hours,
and you might be right. Who knows? Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys go back and rewatch it, and you'll see that. Yeah, I'm right.
You'll see that he has an opinion.
I definitely have an opinion.
Yeah,
and most of the time I'm correct in this. Not all the time. I'm just talking about in this. That's all. And it depends on how you look at it.
No, you definitely have an opinion.
Yeah,
we do 100%. We agree on that.
So,
so that is
4 crows.
4 crows.
4 crows.
4 out of 5?
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Okay, I'm
giving it 4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know it is, because I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the 2 stories that I really enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoy them. Like, I have no issue rewatching those over and over again. I'm kind of like you. I can look at it. The reason I can give it that high of a rating is because I can put it on, and I already know that I can piddle it around until, you know, for a couple of minutes, until it gets going, until it kicks into lot 249. I can sit there, I can watch that, I can enjoy that, and then once it gets to Cat from Hell, it's kind of like, it's on and I can watch it, but I can also get up and pee, I can also get a drink, whatever it may be, like during that time, and I know that I'll still enjoy. I like the story. Like it's not that I hate the story. It's not that great, and I'm not an anti-cat fan per se, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've got a cat and I've got a couple, but I just have one that lives with me. But I'm not scared of cats. But also I'm looking at this like, from my age at this point. But like if I look at it, if I was a little kid, like that would scare a little kid, like that would scare the shit
Can you
out
imagine
of me,
somebody that
what I
is
mean?
scared of cats watching
So
that?
like I get it. I get that it has all the factors.
Mm-hmm.
Like it deserves that. In my opinion, it deserves for it. I'm not going to give it a 5 by any means.
No,
but,
I'm gonna second your 4 because I know that although I can't pinpoint the flaws, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is a perfect movie. This is the greatest movie ever made. I'm sure some of the effects, if I wanted to tear them up, I probably could.
But you also have to put it into a time frame.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like I put those things in context.
Yeah.
I almost did 3.5, but because I was like,
I thought you were gonna go 3.5.
I really kind of I didn't know if we wanted to break it into halves or not.
Oh, we gotta have halves.
If I'm gonna do that, then I'll go 3.5 because it's better than 2.5. It's definitely better than a halfway, you know what I mean? It's better than 3, but I don't know about if we're gonna do halves, then I'm gonna go 3.5 crows is my official rating for Tales from the Dark Side.
I think it's really good. I do want to leave room because there are better movies.
Yes,
so I want to be able to praise those.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna back down my 4 that I backed you, and I'm gonna pick it up at 3.5.
All right.
Okay, because we're still gauging this out.
Yeah, we're learning. This is new.
Yeah.
Y'all bear with us. So.
Obviously, there were some things that we felt different on, but I think when you lay it all out, we pretty much see it the same. You know what I mean? Because even though you didn't really dig the framing, I didn't mind it, but it didn't hurt it to me. You know what I mean? It didn't take anything away from the rest of it. So, but you're right. It could be without it. They could have done something else, and it is it's classic. But if you take away it being classic, which is where the nostalgia comes from, then maybe something else. Again, if it would have been the Crypt Keeper, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said.
That makes
overall, of course.
Okay.
If you've made it this far, then you need to go back and rewatch it.
Dude, nobody has made it this far.
So I will be probably one of the only people that actually make it this far because I have to.
Oh, then I'll say, hi, Sam. Thank you, brother.
So
get us that view. Do this for the Scarecrow hour.
So speaking of which, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, please.
You can find us. Obviously, you found us right where we are, and that's either on YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify. I don't know if it's like podcasters for Spotify or something. I don't know. I got to figure that out. Some of my videos aren't showing. I've been uploading them, but they're not showing. So I got to get that figured out. So we'll sort that out. But regardless, everything always goes to YouTube and Rumble. Everything that I do, I'm always going to put things on Rumble because honestly, you never know with YouTube about what they're gonna let go and what they will, what they won't, and
everything else, dude. No, YouTube's. I'm always seeing people have nightmares and stuff with YouTube.
Yeah, it's like one of these days, I think more people will be over on Rumble, and you're going to be able to find all of Uncle Sam Presents podcasts on Rumble as well. So,
real quick, what are we doing next? What's our next movie?
Our next movie is...
Because we got the bar pretty high.
Well, we started off with Tales from the Darkside,
which we both really liked.
We both enjoyed,
and we definitely recommend watching it if you
highly
actually
recommend.
Don't watch it now because we've ruined the entire thing for you.
Oh yeah,
but that's on you.
Actually, the best thing to do is just to turn on the movie and then turn on this podcast, or turn on this podcast and then turn on the movie, and just have the movie playing in the background as
you
this
might go
podcast
through it a couple
is going.
Times.
So and we'll break it down for you. We'll separate it into different episodes or something. Make it a little easier for you
That's a good idea.
to go through. So we started off with Tales from the Dark Side. It's Tales from the Dark Side. Our next movie is going to be Tales of
Halloween. Nice. Okay. Very nice. Tales of Halloween. Tales of Halloween. Tales of Halloween. Scarecrow hour. Like, so we started with Tales from the Dark Side, which is great. That's a different Tales of Halloween's a different story. And we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that whenever we get into that. But that's going to be the next thing. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So anyway, we thanks for tuning in. We'll check you later.
Yeah,
all
absolutely.
Right. Jeez, Sam. Really?